The massive ship appeared in Earth's sky without warning on a quiet Tuesday morning. It hung above New York City like a metal island, blocking the sun and casting a mile-wide shadow. People stopped in the streets, looking up with open mouths. Cars crashed. Phone networks failed as millions tried to call loved ones at once. In Washington, D.C., Jack Monroe watched the news footage with a grim expression. As a retired Navy SEAL with 30 years of service, he thought he had seen everything. He was wrong. His phone rang. "Jack, we need you at the White House." "Now," said the voice of General Ellis, his former commander. 3 hours later, Jack sat in a room with the president, military leaders, and top scientists. Outside, the world was in chaos. 6 more ships had appeared over major cities worldwide. "They're requesting to speak with our leaders," said Dr. Susan Bennett, the Secretary General of the United Nations. "They're broadcasting in perfect English." The large screen on the wall flickered to life. The creature on screen had a long, scaled face with 4 yellow eyes. It wore something like a uniform with symbols Jack couldn't understand. "People of Earth," the alien said in a deep voice, "I am Ambassador Krelzer of the Draxian Republic. We come in peace and with urgent purpose." Jack listened as the alien explained. A war had been raging across the galaxy for over 100 years. 2 major groups fought: the Galactic Concord, a group of free planets, and the Hegemony, an empire that conquered worlds by force. The Draxians belonged to the Concord. "We are losing this war," Krelzer said simply. "We have been watching your world for decades. Humans possess something unique, a special creativity in battle, and a refusal to surrender that we have never seen in any other species." The room stayed quiet as the alien continued. "We need your help. We offer technology, resources, and access to new worlds for your growing population. In return, we ask for your military assistance." Debate exploded after the transmission ended. Some leaders wanted nothing to do with an alien war. Others saw opportunity in the stars. "They're desperate," Jack said, speaking for the first time. "You don't cross light years to find soldiers unless you're truly desperate. Or they see something in us that we don't see in ourselves, Doctor." Bennett replied. In the days that followed, world leaders argued while the alien ships waited. News channels showed nothing else. Religious groups claimed it was the end times. Scientists begged for access to alien technology. Military leaders demanded caution. Jack found himself appointed as the military advisor to the diplomatic team. He met with Krelzer in a temporary structure built on neutral ground in Switzerland. "Why humans?" Jack asked during their first private meeting. "We're not as advanced as you." The alien's yellow eyes blinked slowly. "The Hegemony uses highly advanced battle computers. Their tactics are perfect, mathematically speaking, but they are predictable to those who understand the patterns. Humans." Krelzer made a strange sound that Jack realized was laughter. "Humans are anything but predictable." "That's not enough reason to drag us into your war," Jack said. "There is more," the alien admitted, "but not all can be shared yet. Trust must be earned between our peoples." After weeks of tense negotiations, Earth's nations made a decision. Humanity would join the Concord, but with strict conditions. Earth would remain independent. Technology would be shared. Human soldiers would serve under human officers. Dr. Bennett signed the agreement as Earth's representative. "This is the beginning of a new chapter for our species," she said to the cameras. Not everyone agreed. Protests filled the streets. Some countries refused to participate. But enough nations joined to begin the process of preparing Earth for war among the stars. Alien engineers helped retrofit Earth's largest ships with new technology. Scientists worked day and night to understand concepts that changed everything they knew about physics. Soldiers from around the world volunteered for the first space combat units Jack watched it all with mixed feelings. The speed of change worried him. In just 3 months, humans had gone from wondering if aliens existed to preparing to fight a war alongside them. Having second thoughts? Dr. Bennett asked, finding him watching the construction of Earth's first battle fleet from a viewing platform. "We're moving too fast," Jack said. "We know almost nothing about this war, our new allies, or our enemies. We know that if the hegemony wins, they'll eventually find Earth anyway," she replied. "At least this way we have friends." Jack wasn't. Sure, friends was the right word for the Draxians and the other Concord species they'd met. They were allies of convenience, nothing more. 6 months after first contact, Earth's first battle fleet prepared to leave the solar system. 10 ships, crewed by an international force of Earth's best, equipped with weapons humanity barely understood. Jack stood on the bridge of the flagship, USS Defiance. As the newly appointed colonel in charge of Earth's military coordination with the Concord, he would travel with the fleet to their first deployment. Captain Lisa Grant, the ship's commander, joined him at the viewport. "Ready, Colonel?" she asked. Jack watched as Earth grew smaller on the screen, a blue marble that held everything humanity had ever known. "No," he answered honestly. "But let's go make some noise out there anyway." The Defiance engaged its new drive, and the stars stretched into lines of light. Earth's first warriors headed to war, unaware that the entire galaxy was about to learn exactly what humans were capable of when pushed into a corner. 6 months had passed since Earth's first fleet departed for the stars. On the alien planet Alterus, Lieutenant Maria Diaz wiped sweat from her forehead as she watched her mixed unit of human and alien soldiers struggle through the training course. The blue-green sky and heavier gravity made everything harder for the humans. "Again," she ordered when half the team failed to clear the wall. "The hegemony won't wait while you catch your breath." A tall, 4-armed alien named Vrek approached her. His skin had a blue tint that humans found unsettling. "The humans are physically inferior, Lieutenant. Perhaps separate training would be more efficient." Maria shook her head. "We fight together. We train together." Training mixed species was the hardest assignment Maria had ever faced. Humans found the aliens strange and intimidating. The aliens found humans slow, fragile, and primitive. Neither group fully trusted the other. "They hate us," Private Steve Carter said later in the human barracks. "These Concord aliens think we're stupid animals." "They need us," Maria reminded him. "That's all that matters for now." The next morning, news arrived that changed everything. The first human combat unit had been deployed against the hegemony. The battle was a disaster. Of the 300 human soldiers sent to defend a Concord mining colony, fewer than 50 survived. The aliens at the base looked at the humans differently after that. With pity, Maria thought. Or maybe relief that their gamble on human help wasn't working out. Colonel Jack Monroe arrived 2 days later. Maria had met him briefly during her training on Earth. He looked older now, with new lines on his face and a hardness in his eyes. "Walk with me, Lieutenant," he said after the formal greeting. They walked around the training field as Jack explained what really happened. "The Concord commanders ignored the human officer's input," he said. "They placed our soldiers in standard Concord formations, using standard Concord tactics. The hegemony cut through them like they weren't even there. So they set us up to fail," Maria said. "Not intentionally. They truly believed their tactics were superior. They've been fighting this war for 100 years their way." Jack stopped walking and looked at her directly. "The Concord leadership is questioning their decision to include Earth in the alliance. I need a win, Lieutenant. Something to show them what humans can really do." Maria thought about her frustrated soldiers and the dismissive aliens. An idea formed in her mind. "Give me 3 days, sir," she said. For the next 3 days, Maria changed everything about how her unit trained. Instead of forcing humans to adapt to alien tactics, she created new approaches that played to each species' strengths. Humans excelled at improvisation and quick thinking. The four-armed Zelkai like Vrek had amazing strength and coordination. The insect-like Tresk could communicate silently over short distances. On the third day, Admiral Ji Val, a high-ranking Concord commander, arrived to observe. The admiral was from a species called the Morth, who resembled tall, thin humans. With silver skin and no visible ears or nose, Maria led her unit through a combat simulation. They faced a scenario where a hegemony force had taken control of a small settlement. Standard Concord tactics would call for a frontal assault after heavy bombardment. Instead, Maria split her forces. The Tresk moved silently to gather intelligence. Human soldiers created distractions at multiple points. The Zelkai, led by Vrek, used their strength to create a surprise entry point through a maintenance tunnel. The simulation ended with a complete victory and no casualties. Admiral Jival watched in silence. Unorthodox, the admiral said afterward. The hegemony would not expect such tactics. That's the point, Admiral, Maria replied. They've spent a century learning to counter your standard approaches. Jack smiled for the first time since arriving. This is what we've been trying to explain. Humans don't think like the rest of the Concord. It's not better or worse, it's different. And different is what you need right now. Admiral Jival considered this. I will authorize a test. Lieutenant Diaz will lead her unit on a real mission. If successful, we may implement similar training for other mixed units. After the Admiral left, Jack took Maria aside. There's something else you should know. Something I discovered recently about why the Concord really came to Earth. I thought it was for our tactical creativity, Maria said. Jack lowered his voice. That's part of it. But they're hiding something else. The hegemony has a weapon, some kind of field that affects the minds of most alien species. It makes them slow, confused, easy to defeat. And it doesn't work on humans? Maria guessed. Exactly. Something about our brains is different. The Concord didn't just want creative tactics. They needed soldiers who could fight when their own people couldn't. Maria thought about the failed battle and the dead humans. They should have told us. Yes, Jack agreed. And now we need to prove that humans are worth the risk they took in revealing themselves to us. 2 days later, Maria stood before her unit as they prepared to board a transport ship. Their mission was to secure a small Concord outpost that had stopped communicating 3 days ago. Remember your training, she told them. We do this our way. Steve Carter nodded at her. Let's show them what humans can do. As the ship lifted off, Maria felt both fear and determination. This wasn't just a mission. It was humanity's chance to prove they belonged among the stars. 1 year had passed since Earth joined the war. Commander Alan Rogers stood on the bridge of the USS Liberty, watching the stars through the main viewport. His small fleet of 5 ships hid in the dust cloud of a dead solar system. They were waiting. Contact approaching, sir, reported his sensor officer, a woman named Kate Boyd. Hegemony supply convoy, just as intelligence predicted. Alan nodded. A year ago, he had been a Navy commander on Earth. Now he led a fleet of hybrid ships, with both human and alien crews. The past 12 months had changed everything. Lieutenant Maria Diaz and her mixed unit had succeeded in their first mission, rescuing a Concord outpost from hegemony scouts. Their success led to more mixed units and more human officers given command positions. The Concord began to listen to human ideas. All ships, prepare for attack pattern Delta, Alan ordered. Remember, hit and fade, no extended engagements. The human approach to space warfare shocked both the Concord allies and hegemony enemies. For a century, space battles had followed predictable patterns. Ships formed precise formations and exchanged. Fire at optimal ranges calculated by computers. Humans fought differently. They used dust clouds and asteroid fields for cover. They set traps. They attacked from unexpected angles. They retreated when logic said to advance, and attacked when calculations said to wait. Attack! Allen ordered when the hegemony ships reached the perfect position. His small fleet burst from the dust, cloud like wolves attacking sheep. The hegemony convoy had 20 ships, but most were cargo vessels with minimal weapons. Their 8 guard ships formed a standard defensive pattern. Exactly as expected, the Liberty fired its main cannons at the lead guard ship while racing straight toward the formation. At the last moment, Allen ordered a sharp turn that brought his ship incredibly close to the enemy vessel. "Fire all lateral batteries," he commanded. The point-blank attack overwhelmed the enemy shields. Around him, his other ships performed similar maneuvers. The hegemony formation broke apart in confusion as the human-led ships darted between them, firing from unexpected angles. In 10 minutes, it was over. 6 hegemony guard ships destroyed, 2 damaged and retreating. The cargo vessels surrendered. Standard Concord tactics would have taken hours and likely lost 2 or 3 of our ships. Allen told his alien second officer, a Draxian named Krellinor. The Draxian nodded. Unpredictability. It is your greatest weapon. Across the galaxy, humanity's influence on the war grew. Dr. Kelly Wright, Earth's ambassador to the Concord Council, faced a different kind of battle in the Grand Council chambers on the Concord capital world of Harmonium. "The human methods are effective but chaotic," complained Ambassador Trell of the Morith species. "They ignore centuries of established tactical doctrine." Kelly smiled politely. "That is precisely why they work. The hegemony knows your doctrines as well as you do." The large chamber housed representatives from 32 species. Some looked almost human. Others were so alien that Kelly still struggled not to stare. After a year as ambassador, she had learned that alien politics were just as complicated as human ones. "There is another matter of concern," said Olavan, a floating jellyfish-like being. "The rate at which humans are advancing with our technology is ... unprecedented." Kelly heard the real concern beneath the words. The Concord had expected grateful, obedient allies. Instead, they got humans who questioned everything, improved alien designs, and rapidly grew in capability. "We're fighting for our survival," Kelly replied. "Innovation is how humans respond to threats." Meanwhile, on a Concord research station, Jack Monroe reviewed classified reports. Now a general, he had spent months gathering information about the true nature of the war. "Show me the data on the suppression field again," he told the alien scientist. The holographic display showed brain scans of various species under the influence of the hegemony's most feared weapon, a my field that dampened neural activity in most sentient species. The scans of Concord aliens showed severely reduced brain function. The human scans showed minimal effect. "This is why they sought us out," Jack said. "Not just our tactics, but our biology." The scientist, a small green alien named Prill, nodded. "Humans are not immune, but you are resistant enough to function at near normal capacity. No other species can do this." Before Jack could respond, an urgent message arrived. A critical Concord colony called New Haven was under attack by a major hegemony fleet. All nearby forces were ordered to assist in defense. Admiral Gival commanded. The defense force, with Commander Rogers and his human-led ships assigned as support. When they arrived, the situation was dire. 20 hegemony battleships bombarded the planet's defenses. "Our models predict defeat within 6 hours," the Admiral's tactical officer reported. "What do your models say, Commander Rogers?" Admiral. Shival asked. Alan studied the tactical display. My models say we need to stop thinking like the Concorde and start thinking like humans. He pointed to a dense asteroid field near the planet. The hegemony is ignoring this area because their tactical computers say it's too dangerous for large ships. That's where we'll launch our counterattack. The Admiral looked skeptical. What are you proposing? Something no one has tried before. Alan said, we'll need mining charges and all the short-range fighters we have. Against the Admiral's better judgment, Rogers was given command of the operation. Human crews worked alongside aliens to rig hundreds of asteroids with explosives. Fighter craft prepared for dangerous close-quarters combat. When the attack began, the hegemony ships were caught completely by surprise. Rigged asteroids slammed into their formation, followed by swarms of fighters attacking from inside the debris. Clouds dot in the chaos. Rogers led the main fleet in a direct assault on the hegemony flagship. 3 massive hegemony dreadnoughts were destroyed in the battle dot as the remaining enemy ships retreated. News of the victory spread across Concorde space. For the first time in decades, the hegemony had been decisively defeated. On their homeworld, the hegemony leaders gathered to discuss this new threat. These humans, said Supreme Commander Vexar, they do not fight like the Concorde. They are unpredictable, adaptive. Then we must learn everything about them, replied the Grand Strategist. Their weaknesses, their world. Find what they love and fear. And then? Asked another leader. And then we will show them why the galaxy trembled before the hegemony long before humans left their cradle. 2 years into the war, humanity's impact could be seen everywhere. Human-designed weapons replaced older Concorde models. Human battle tactics became standard training. Ships were rebuilt to accommodate human needs and fighting styles. Major Peter. Hall moved silently through the dark corridors of the hegemony research station. 3 aliens followed him, a quick-moving Tresk named Skrit, a powerful Zil-Kai warrior called Dorn, and a small shapeshifter from the morph species who went by Flux. They were the best infiltration team in the Concorde. Security sensors ahead, whispered Skrit, her antennae twitching. Standard hegemony pattern. Peter nodded and pulled out a small device designed by human engineers. It projected false readings to the sensors. The team slipped past without triggering alarms. Their mission was critical. Intelligence had discovered that the hegemony was developing a new weapon specifically designed to target humans. After several devastating defeats, the enemy had focused their resources on finding ways to counter humanity's advantages. This should be the main lab, Peter said as they reached a sealed door. Dorn used his 4 arms to place breaching charges, while Peter kept watch. The door opened with a soft hiss rather than an explosion, another human innovation that surprised the hegemony, who expected loud, detectable breaches. Inside, they found what they feared. Containment cells held captured humans. Medical equipment surrounded each cell. Data screens showed biological information. They're studying us, Peter said grimly, learning our weaknesses. Flux morphed into the shape of a hegemony scientist and accessed the main computer. They've been testing various toxins and pathogens that affect humans, but not other species. The team downloaded the research data and planted explosives throughout the facility. As they prepared to leave, alarms suddenly blared. We've been detected, Skrit chittered nervously. The escape turned into a fighting retreat. Hegemony guards flooded the corridors. Peter and his team fought their way out, but not without cost. Dorn was hit multiple times protecting the others. By the time they reached their hidden ship, the big Zil-Kai was barely a live dot as their ship raced away from the station. Peter watched the facility explode behind them. The mission was a success, but he felt hollow. 5 of the captured humans had still been alive in those cells. The team had been forced to end their suffering during the escape. On Earth, life had changed dramatically. Alien technology solved problems that once seemed impossible. Clean energy powered everything. Medical advances extended human lifespans. Food production reached new heights, but social changes caused tension. Some people embraced alien cultures and technologies. Others feared losing what made humanity unique. Laura Chun walked through Central Park in New York, recording observations for her news channel. As a journalist documenting Earth's transformation, she had seen both the benefits and problems of alien contact. 2 years ago, we wondered if we were alone in the universe, she said into her camera. Now our children learn about 32 alien species in school, and Draxian food carts compete with hot dog vendors on our streets. She turned her camera toward a public viewing screen, showing Commander Rogers receiving a medal from the Concorde leadership. Earth's military heroes were celebrated across the galaxy now. But Lavra had been investigating something troubling. Certain Concorde technologies given to Earth contained hidden components. After consulting with independent scientists, she believed some devices could be used for surveillance. In her apartment that night, Lavra compiled her evidence. Before she could send it to her editor, she received a priority message from a source in the United Nations. Dr. Wright, Earth's ambassador, had returned suddenly from the Concorde Council with disturbing news. On the Concorde military headquarters station, General Jack Monroe met with Dr. Wright in a secure room. "How bad is it?" he asked. Kelly looked exhausted. "Several powerful Concorde species are now viewing us as a potential threat. Our rapid advancement worries them." One council member compared humans to a virus that adapts too quickly. Jack wasn't surprised. The data from Major Hall's mission showed that the hegemony had devoted enormous resources to countering humanity. The Concorde was doing the same, just more quietly. They're afraid that after the hegemony is defeated, humans might become the next galactic power, Kelly continued. Some are suggesting limits on technology sharing and human command authority. Jack showed her the reports from various human commanders. "We've been too successful. The hegemony is on the defensive for the first time in 50 years. Before Kelly could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. A communications officer burst into the room. "Sir, the hegemony has launched a massive counteroffensive. There, specifically targeting human forces and human-led ships. Across 3 sectors of space, hegemony fleets struck with devastating precision. They used new tactics designed to counter human strategies. They deployed weapons that targeted human physiology. Commander." Rogers led the defense in the main battle zone. His fleet fought bravely, but was overwhelmed by the new hegemony weapons. The USS Liberty took heavy damage. "They knew exactly where we would be," Rogers told his second officer as they evacuated to escape pods. "They knew our defense plans." Major Hall, recovering from his mission wounds, reviewed the battle data with Peter's team. "This wasn't just good planning," he said. "The hegemony had our exact deployment information." "A traitor in the Concorde," Flux concluded. On the Concorde Council, accusations flew between species. Some blamed humans for being reckless. Others suspected ancient Concorde rivals of sabotage. During the heated debate, a urgent transmission interrupted the council session. Everyone fell silent as they watched the incoming video feed. A massive hegemony fleet had appeared in Earth's solar system. The attack on human forces had been a diversion. Their real target was humanity's homeworld. Earth was under direct attack. Earth's skies filled with fire as the hegemony fleet arrived. 30 massive warships took position around the planet. People watched in terror as smaller enemy ships descended toward major cities. General Jack Monroe coordinated Earth's defense from a hastily established command center in the Rocky Mountains. Earth's own defenses were still limited, despite 2 years of preparation. We need to hold out until Concord reinforcements arrive, he told his officers. Every minute counts. Admiral Ji Val, who had been visiting Earth when the attack began, stood beside him. The silver-skinned alien looked grim. I have called all nearby Concord forces, the admiral said. Commander Rogers leads the closest fleet. They will arrive in 8 hours. Earth doesn't have 8 hours, Jack replied. Around the world, soldiers and civilians prepared to fight. In New York, Lavra Chun broadcast emergency instructions to millions of viewers. In orbit, Earth's small defense fleet engaged the hegemony. Ships in desperate battles, the hegemony deployed their most feared weapon, the psychic suppression field. As expected, humans resisted its effects better than alien species. The Concord soldiers stationed on Earth faltered, their movements becoming slow and uncoordinated. Admiral Gival struggled to remain standing. The field, stronger than we've ever encountered. The alien gasped. Jack felt pressure in his head, but could still function. This is why you recruited us, he said. This is the real reason. In space, Commander Rogers pushed his fleet beyond safe speeds. The USS Defiance, now his flagship since the Liberty was destroyed, raced toward Earth with 50 ships following. We won't make it in time, his navigation officer said. Rogers looked at the tactical display. There's one way we might. He outlined a plan so dangerous that his alien crew members thought he had gone mad. They would use a newly discovered property of their faster-than-light drives to attempt a micro-jump directly into Earth's atmosphere, something considered physically impossible and suicidal. The hegemony would never expect it, because no sane species would try it. Rogers explained. Behind enemy lines, Major Hall and his infiltration team had been stranded during the previous battles. Now they found themselves in perfect position to strike at the hegemony's rear. With a small stolen ship, they approached the massive vessel generating the suppression field. We can't destroy it from outside, Hall told his team. We need to get aboard. Flux changed form to resemble a hegemony officer. Scrick hid in a ventilation pack on Hall's back. Dorn had not survived their previous mission, but the remaining team members were determined to succeed for their fallen friend. On Earth, the first hegemony ground forces landed in major cities. They expected minimal resistance from suppressed defenders. Instead, they met organized human resistance. Soldiers and armed civilians fought street by street. In Washington, D.C., Dr. Kelly Wright found herself trapped in the United Nations building with Concord diplomats who could barely move due to the suppression field. Using knowledge gained from her diplomatic work, she accessed emergency communications to reach Concord worlds that had been withholding advanced defensive technology from Earth. Your fears about humans have blinded you, she told the alien leaders. If Earth falls today, you lose your only effective defense against the suppression field. Help us now, or prepare to surrender to the hegemony. One by one, the reluctant allies agreed to send activation codes for dormant defensive systems hidden on Earth. Technology they had provided, but not fully enabled due to their distrust of humans. Jack watched in amazement as new weapon systems came online around the planet. Shields strengthened. Advanced defense platforms activated. You knew about these? He asked Admiral Gival. Some, the Admiral admitted weakly, still fighting the suppression field's effects. Not all. Some species kept secrets even from allies. Major Hall's team successfully infiltrated the hegemony command ship. Fighting their way to the suppression field generator, they planted explosives at key points. When they were discovered, Hall ordered Scrit and Flux to escape while he held off enemy soldiers. Complete the mission, he told them. I'll buy you time. As his teammates fled, Hall fought against overwhelming odds. When enemy reinforcements cornered him, he triggered the explosives manually. The resulting explosion severely damaged the hegemony flagship and disrupted the suppression field. Across Earth, Concord allies regained their strength as the field weakened. Admiral G. Val stood straight again, joining the fight with renewed vigor. In space, Commander Rogers executed his impossible maneuver. The USS Defiance microjumped directly into Earth's atmosphere, bypassing the hegemony blockade. The ship's systems screamed warnings as heat from atmospheric entry nearly tore it apart. "Target their command vessel," Rogers ordered. "Fire everything we have." The Defiance launched a precise strike against the already damaged hegemony flagship from a poor, completely unexpected vector. The enemy vessel, still reeling from hull sabotage, broke apart under the assault. With their command structure destroyed and the suppression field gone, the hegemony forces fell into disarray. As Rogers' remaining fleet arrived, the enemy began. Retreating God Earth had survived, but at tremendous cost. Major cities lay in ruins. Millions were dead or injured. Trust between humans and the Concord had been severely damaged by the revealed secrets and hesitant response. 1 month later, the Concord Council convened an emergency session. Dr. Wright presented Earth's terms for continued participation in Dastion. The alliance equal partnership and full technology sharing, or humanity would pursue its own path in galactic affairs. To support her case, she played security footage showing human civilians fighting alongside alien soldiers, protecting Concord. Refugees during the Earth attack. Despite their own peril, humans had not abandoned their allies. Admiral Gival broke protocol by addressing the Council directly. "I have fought alongside 100 species across 5 centuries of warfare," the Admiral said. "Never have I witnessed the tenacity I saw on Earth." The hegemony did not understand what they awakened. They targeted Earth believing they would eliminate a tactical inconvenience. Instead, they created something this galaxy has never seen: a truly unified human response. 3 months after the attack, Jack stood at a memorial for the fallen in what remained of New York City. Earth was rebuilding, stronger than before. The sky above was filled with both human and alien ships working together. Draxian officer approached and offered a formal bow, the highest sign of respect in their culture. "We came seeking soldiers," the alien said quietly. "We found something far more valuable. We found humans." Jack looked up at the stars, no longer distant points of light, but places where humanity now walked. "And the galaxy will never be the same," he replied.